You start, Bas.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've been now here, well, since 6 years, knowing the collection, finding out more and more. Every time we understand there is more in the collection than what people tell us. And we say,
Well, of course.
But maybe there's still this, maybe there's still that. And well, we would like to, in a way, hear from you why you started it, because we are very interested in the fact that you decided to collect photography in relation to architecture, and it's not architecture photography, it's photography that deals with the city by authors, and that it's always the idea that it's a complete project that is collected rather than an individual photograph.
Yes, well, you asked a question earlier about, I think it was you who asked it about the question why we didn't just do one photograph and another photograph. Well, that's very boring.
Of course. But it was the standard.
Well, no, I know it was a standard. Who knew?
Exactly, yeah.
We didn't know too much, you know. What we studied.
But don't believe it was out of ignorance that you collected the complete.
No. But we went to the FSA, okay.
Yes.
And so, however, one likes to see things in a context, and
of course,
that makes sense. One object, even in drawings, it's not very interesting. Occasionally, you get a drawing that has enough in it that you can tell a story about it. But otherwise, it's just an object of no interest, really. Well, first of all, I had collected architectural drawings when I was starting to work on the Seagram building in New York in 54, 55. You know, I just love drawings because you sort of see what a person is thinking. And I just wanted to find out, okay, how did architects draw? What were the subjects they drew? What were the constraints that they had? All that kind of concerns around how a project is developed. Then the question was what to do with these drawings. And I think at one point the curators of the National Gallery said, maybe even give the collection to them. And she said, well, you have to have background information about the books. I said, okay, fine. So I started collecting architectural books, of course. And there was a wonderful dealer in New York of books, rare books. But he had these wonderful photographs. So I just absolutely fell in love with them. You know, and I guess our first photograph was 1974 that we got. And then from there on, we started to see, a lot of it was in the early flea markets in France. Then there were some early dealers in the United States who were moving, not just of American photography, because we didn't, there was no nationality, there was no time frame to it, except the early photographs. It was just, that's what was available.
Yes.
Those were just wonderful. Because they were so rich. Occasionally, daguerreotypes, of course, you get one of.
Yes.
The only thing we didn't want to have, we didn't want sentimental photographs, and we didn't want photographs that were taken for now for advertising purposes, whatever. I started photographing myself also, out of curiosity about how cities grew, what made cities.
So, and if we go back to the photography collection, you could say having photographs not of architecture is somehow helping to understand architecture.
Well, we look at architecture in a broader way.
Exactly, yeah.
And so throughout the whole, it's one collection. Because we don't say photograph collection, it's everything about architecture, okay? Books, photographs, drawings, visions, etc.
Does it mean that if you come as a scholar here, you would advise them to look at the drawing collection, model collection, book collection and photography collection, otherwise it's impossible to understand?
No.
No.
don't think so. But I think that it adds, but having them together, it adds a richness of understanding that you wouldn't have otherwise.
Because if there would be no photography in the collection, what would happen?
Oh, I wouldn't be very sad.
And for the scholars, what would happen?
I can't tell you that, because it's always part of the idea to have the photographs as part of the collection.
Yeah.
As it was the drawings, as the Renaissance drawings, as the 17th and 18th century drawings, as it is contemporary archives.
Yeah.
And of course, there are lots of very interesting photographs. Have you looked at the archives?
Of course.
I mean, the archives, not of the photographs, but the archives of the architects.
Partly.
Okay, some of it is interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. I said it, we don't put things on the wall to say, this is it. We want people to think about it. And
I mean, it's more open. It's the fact that the photography collection and the drawing collection are working together, I think.
yeah,
Like,
oh, absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
but Shore, for example, even Guido, even Balz, they're very into this formal reading of photography as such, as sometimes as self-describing itself. So, and this is something that I don't know.
I was thinking Frank Lloyd Wright. We have photographs by him,
Yeah.
photographs of him, books by him, books about him, drawings of him. This is all the idea of the collection, okay? And and at the beginning, cataloging, I always said, well, cataloging, he has to be able to deal all those things. Took quite a while technically before he could do that. But, that seems to me a whole. Or at least going towards a whole.